Coach, what was the conversation like after Leon's second power play goal? What was the conversation on the bench like after that?
Well, we just wanted to play 5-on-5, so the guys were a little ticked off, and they wanted to get back playing 5-on-5. They felt very confident in that realm, and we moved on quick.
Don, what's it like to throw the thought process behind throwing Dylan Cousins into the deep end in a game like this and a matchup up against Dylan Cousins or Connor McDavid, in which he also scores twice in the response that he shows?
Yeah, you know, it started that decision started a couple of days ago. I watched some clips with Dylan, and I finished the clips, and I asked him a question. I asked him if he was ready to play against that matchup tonight, and I watched his body language, and if his body language was different, he wouldn't have got that matchup. But I liked what I saw, and felt he was ready for the challenge, whichever way it went. You don't know why. I couldn't tell you which way it was going to go, but I felt he was ready for the challenge. So, and it was based on that.
What was it about his skill set and plus his line mates that made them the choice?
Well, they can skate.
Yeah.
They can skate, and that's a big reason. And again, I think, you know, at 5-on-5 we were good tonight in that area. We could skate with them, but that was the reason.
Both of his goals tonight, he was at top speed going to the net. Is that one of the things you went over with him? You said you were talking to him and went over some things with him. Is that one of the things you impressed upon? He needs to play with more speed like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys that comes with some chemistry. You know, I can't take credit for that by any means. Those guys had good chemistry, and they moved as a unit, as a group of five. And when you do that, you're pacing off each other. You can generate a lot more speed. And I thought, you know, as a five-man unit, when they were out there, regardless of the D, all the D were good in that realm. But that line in particular, those three had a really good couple days of practice, and you could see them building from the Washington game. They had a lot of opportunity in the Washington game that they didn't create scoring chances, but it was opportunity. They were right there. And they followed that up with two good practices, and I just felt they were ready for the next step.
You encouraged to see the way that your group responded to adversity in the third period. It's, you know, you guys have blown a couple of leads lately, obviously.
Yeah, you know, again, it wasn't. I mean, certainly in light of the last couple games, it's great, but we're not carrying the last couple games or a few games or anything into the game, as we can't tomorrow, unfortunately. But you know, they just were in the moment, and the moment called for buckling up and tightening up, but not tightening up's a bad word, but staying aggressive, and they did it. You know, our guys. So I don't think there was any prove it to her. They just were. They were hungry tonight, and they thrived on any situation other than the penalty kill. So.
How happy are you that you get Dustin in? He hasn't had a lot of goals scored. He's played very well for the whole season.
Yeah, Dustin's been a quiet guy, even yesterday in practice, knowing he started. And I think he's a guy that, I mean, we love him because he competes to win, and it hasn't worked out as much as he'd liked, but I don't think that's been his doing at all. He's done his part, and I think the games that he hasn't won, you know, we didn't score enough on our side, really. He's played great the whole season, and it's nice for that reason to see him win tonight.
You've often talked about not having this team not showing fear or having fear. Is Cousins' reaction to your conversation and what this team mostly showed through today, was that a reflection of not being afraid?
Yeah, you know, I've spoken a lot in that light, John, on you have to respect everybody in this game. I mean, there's so many good hockey players, but don't over-respect it, where you tense up and tighten up and are afraid to make a mistake and don't play aggressive. And so, you know, I don't use those negatives. You play aggressive, and we want to play aggressive. And, you know, I challenged our guys on that, as I do every day, significantly tonight. And we had a couple days to prepare, and so I don't, you know, it was nice to have a couple days to prepare, because there was plenty of times in that game, like we said, in the penalty kill, we could have pulled apart and struggled, and we had it lately. So that was nice to see us plug through, but I think we're a little better rested doing so.
Don, Dylan said that the way he played tonight, he feels that he's building your trust in him on the ice. What do you think his ceiling is, and what do you see in the way that he played tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the way he played tonight, he had an amazing game. My trust in him has always been there. Definitely long term. I mean, but even in the short term, it's when you, as a coach, you think you don't trust him. It's such a subtlety. Like, just if you just tweak this, you're right on. So he's never been far away from success, even though it's sometimes elusive to him. It's just part of him gaining experience. And the biggest thing with me, I want to see him play with confidence, because it's exciting for everybody here to watch. It follows us to watch him when he plays with confidence, and that's the way to maximize. And his ceiling is, I can't tell you where his ceiling is. It's high.
After you put them on the power play for the 6th time, did you finally just tell them, hey guys, this isn't going to work? I mean, it's got to end, or did they figure it out on their own?
Well, I mean, there's two sides to power plays too. I mean, it's a tricky one, Paul. It's a tricky one. I'll tell you that. It's a tricky one.
I like to do that to you.
Yeah, no, you got me on that. So I mean,
I just didn't know if you said something to them, that guys.
I would say something to them if I felt needed, and they were saying the right things on the bench in front of us as coaches. So we really didn't have to address it. I did address in the second period, in between the second period, that some of the calls that they might have thought weren't legit were legit. So refocus. Stop, complaining or being concerned about what the call was. And I told them their responsibility in part to why a call in their mind went against them, to clear that up. So we're not going to play the victim here. It's our doing. Let's go after it. So,
Coach, was this game a way to build Justin's confidence as a netminder? You spoke a little bit about him struggling.
Yeah, I do think. Well, he hasn't struggled. I think we've struggled in front of him at times. So, but again, that weighs on the goaltender, heavily. And so, yes, I think anytime you win and you have success, it really is a boost, and it will be to him. And again, he deserves it because he's put the work in.
Don, how would you assess the Thompson line tonight?
It was tough for them to get in any rhythm, and because of the power play, penalty kill, a lot of stuff like that, and they were almost multiple times tonight. So when we go back through that film, there's a lot of opportunity that they could have converted into bigger scoring chances or more production. So, but I love their game. I mean, they stayed on it. They had a lot of intermittent. They're the next line up, and all of a sudden we got to kill a penalty, and then we got to kill another penalty, and it's not easy to play that way. And so by consequence of no rhythm, I thought they played very well.
Thanks, Don.
Yep.